Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the live presentation of Y.P.O.P Music Unboxed. I'm your host. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm. Now, some of you listen to me in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, but some of you also lock me in Alabama, and in, of course, Oklahoma, and in Georgia, and in Florida, and on the beautiful island of Nassau, Bahamas, and a few of the other cities. But it is an honor and a pleasure to be in your company. We are here tonight to highlight and spotlight some of the newest and youngest up and coming talent that's on the beautiful spot called Staten Island, one of the amazing boroughs of the Tri City of New York. And here to join me in this live presentation is, of course, the one and only founder of Shop Bob, Miss Janelle Simone. Hi.
Hi, Lenny. I'm so glad to be able to be with you once again. I mean, honestly, you
Yes.
always support what it is that we are doing in the community, and I cannot thank you enough.
It's an honor for me to be here. I love anything that you do in the community because I'm a community guy too. So,
Right, right. So, today we are really going to be taking a deep dive into what Shop Bob is doing. Now, you know that I am the founder of Shop Bob, but Shop Bob Cares is actually our 501c3 nonprofit organization that we have extended and launched then this last year here in Staten Island. And so, Shop Bob, what we do at Shop Bob, now, as you know, we with Shop Bob, we highlight, we feature, we support Black owned businesses, businesses of color. And what we've been doing is doing a tremendous work with them. We even created a fundraising platform so that way consumers can shop Bob's. Yes, pun intended. But they can shop from these businesses. And these businesses have actually created a partnership with me. So that way, instead of paying fees for using our platform, they are actually donating a percent of that profit to help our on-site programming, which is incredible because I really do believe it's important that you find awesome businesses that you can work together to really move the needle forward in our community.
and you know what, Janelle, I love what Shop Bob is doing because that's how communities are built. We
Yeah.
help consumers and businesses grow, but at the same time, it keeps it in a circle, a nice flow. And that's how economies are growing and enhanced, and
Mhm.
businesses are grown and very, very successful. So I love
Mhm.
what you have done with Shop Bob over the years, and I know it's
Thank
only
you.
going to continue. I love the fact that you started the Shop Bob Cares when you
Uh-huh.
became a part of My Family Day, which is a
Absolutely.
community-based situation as well. And it
Mhm.
was created
So
pretty much along the same lines.
mhm. Now it's interesting because even when I was doing Shop Bob, what I was noticing when I was talking to the businesses is that they wanted to do more. They didn't, it's one thing about, you know, raising money for organizations, but how can we really help and affect change? And so one of the businesses that I worked with, a Black owned business, gaming service, we wanted to create safe spaces for kids to just have fun, to come together, to heighten morale, for families to have a good time. And I thought, what would be the perfect spot for our inaugural event? Lenny Green's annual family day, because this is what, just like you said, this is what the community is about. This is why you launched your family day, to really give back to the community. I don't even think most people know how much of your time, your effort, your talent, your money goes towards your community day, that is completely free, to make it an event for the community to enjoy. And so when I had the opportunity to reach out to you to say, I would love to be a part to help engage the kids, and you said yes. It was incredible. And I had no idea that during this event, it would literally catapult us to a whole nother level within our organization. And I would love if you can even expound more on Family Day, because I know why I wanted to be a part of Family Day, because I support you, I support your mom. There's so many things that goes into the creation of Family Day. And please share with what it is that you are doing with your Family Day every single year.
Well, Janelle, again, I can't applaud you enough. You're such a wonderful gem, and I don't mean that on the surface. I mean that deep, deep inside. Family Day was start because of, like I said, I piggyback off of what you share and how you came
Mhm,
across with Shot Bob. I mean, it was about
mhm,
giving back to the community. I'm a community. I grew up, in the heart of Brooklyn. I know you're from Staten Island, but I grew up in the heart of
mhm,
Brooklyn, and living
mhm,
all throughout the many sections of Brooklyn, I've always was involved with certain things. But once I found music, so I'm glad that I'm a part of this wonderful event.
mhm,
Once I fell in love with music at 9 years old, it was like sky's the limit. And I wanted to highlight and embrace the children in the
mhm,
community, the businesses in the community, and just make everything 360, 360 degrees, us pouring back into each other, supporting each other, and growing, again, the economy and growing each other. And more importantly, creating more than just a network of business, but a community of togetherness, a community of
mhm,
love. And that goes beyond boundaries because we all need, different things. So by the time you came along, when I was doing probably my 17th or 18th annual, it also gave me an opportunity to spotlight women. And of course, upon mom passing, I wanted to highlight her legacy, and I came up with the Mama Green Women of Dignity Awards. And it goes on to spotlighting mothers, and it just grows and grows and grows. And of course, you doing this tonight, the,
mhm.
the why about Music Unboxed, it just brings, again, everything 360 for me because I used to be a singer. So I'm happy and I'm honored and I'm excited to see the talent
Wait,
that we're going to spotlight from Staten Island.
wait a minute. I have known you for years. I never, ever knew that you,
Come on.
look, you be singing. You be singing.
No, I used to. No, the key phrase, ladies and gentlemen, used to sing. I can't sing a lick no more. But at 9 years old to college, I was singing. And I thought I was going to be Michael Jackson II, but God had a different lane for me.
See, but you end up using your voice for good because now you are healing the hearts of millions with millions of listeners every week, really touching them through your voice, through music, and that is why I even wanted to even branch out into creative arts in that space. And since your annual day that we launched our program, we've serviced 20,000 families in the tri-state area. 20,000
Wow.
families in gaming, 20,000 families. And what I noticed was that in those programs that we would do, everybody was off their phones. They were actually actively engaged in enjoying each other's company. And so, even as we're continuing to do this program and we're building that out, it was the whole idea of how else can we take it from entertainment and now putting it towards education? How do we really make a stronger impression in cultivating the voices of our kids? You're talking about singing, you're talking about that dream of really being creative with the God-given tool that was given to you. And so that's why I wanted to see how else can I move. Now I wonder, even for you, moving and from singing into the music platform, I don't think everybody really knows just how entwined your love and your passion is for music, because you know artist albums, you know when they play. You have, I don't know even how you can memorize these moments in time where music really like captured you. Tell me, how did you even really fall in love with music? I don't mean to be cliche, but when did you first fall in love with music?
It would have to be at 9 years old. But you know what they say about DJs, right?
What?
DJs are frustrated singers that never made it. So I flip that around a little bit because when
Okay.
I see a show, when I see new talent or
Uh-huh.
see someone who's famous, I'm really all in, 1,000% into their
Uh-huh.
performance. I'm
Yeah.
into observing how the audience engages, how they
Mhm.
engage the audience, and how the audience embraces them. So it's very, very
Mhm.
important that my love and appreciation,
Mhm.
even though I don't sing anymore, is still in the artist and seeing how well they, whether they're instrumentalists or
Mhm.
they're, a singer, or
Right.
they could be doing some other kind of talent. I'm just always interested in the engagement of it all, and I'm
Mhm.
always interested in how the growth happens. I'm interested in how the songs come about, how the stories behind the music is, because everything is kind of 360 around the corner. And I
Mhm.
just I love every aspect of it. I wish I could sing, but I can't. But I'm thankful that I can't. God gave me a purpose to do what I'm doing. I'm grateful for that.
Mhm.
But I am
Mhm.
so overwhelmed, Janelle, and I'm so embracive of those who have the gift and are taking the gift that I once loved so strongly to the next
Mhm.
level. So to see that growth in so many artists and to see so many
Yeah.
people at the beginning. I mean, look,
Mhm.
a couple of my friends, some of my dearest friends are on Staten Island, and a lot of them, the Force MDs, they used to
Yes.
hustle and make a little extra change by being on that Staten Island ferry and going back and forth and singing for people. Another a wonderful musical entity, the Wu-Tang Clan, Staten
Mhm.
Island. You know, so
Mhm.
I've watched the growth of so many musicians and artists grow, and I love this process. That's why I'm loving this event that we're doing tonight.
Yes. And what you said really resonated with me, that you really first connected with music when you were 9. And so this was something that I had a conversation with our music director that we're going to bring on as our first guest, because this was a conversation that we had very lightly. We had a light conversation about when is the time that the best time to really connect to children. We talked about programming for younger kids, toddlers, introducing them to music, to sound, and then there's something that happens in that K through 5 area, like right when it's time to graduate into the next phase, to that junior high school, that intermediate level, where we are not so focused on creative arts. We're not focused on that musical talent. We're not focused on how they can express themselves outside of what has been drilled in them from their teacher, drilled in them from their parent, how to completely cultivate their identity that's organic and that is just authentic. And so when we first had this conversation, it was about this age range, and it was that 8, she said 8, but that 8 to uh 14 age range, where when music is introduced, it allows a human, no matter what they identify as, allows a human to really learn their own voice outside of what has been molded into them. They're able to now play and cultivate and be expressive and be free. And then well, both of us, or when you'll meet her in 1 second, both of us were so excited and passionate about using art, that we were like, how can we put something together that can really start to foster a change, foster this level of freedom and independence for kids. And we came up with the idea of merging, collaborating together. I always believe, and we got to collaborate. Sometimes we always want to reinvent the wheel, but if there's somebody who's already doing it, you have a skill set to help them grow. Put your best together, and now morph into the biggest transformer. And this is what we did by creating Y.P.O.P Music Unboxed. So, if we will, I want to introduce our first guest. So, this woman, oh, she is absolutely incredible,
She is.
incredibly talented, absolutely talented. I'm talking about, she has matriculated through the halls of academia. Music has been a passion of hers. Oh yeah, music is a passion of hers. I even remember, now I've known Nicole all my life. And so I remember growing up, even during holiday times, there was not a holiday that she was not in front of the family performing a piece that she created. She is just really, like, music is just in her DNA, it is in her soul, it is in her spirit. And I have watched her just really do incredible work. I mean, she, first off, Latina, so you already know she got a little sazon in her. She got a little spice in her. because that's how we do. That's how we do. But yes, from NYU, she played at Carnegie Hall, studied at Hofstra. Just an absolute incredible talent, well learned, and I am so excited to introduce our first guest for tonight, Nicole Lana Camacho Albert.
Hello.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Lenny. Hi, Janelle. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the intro.
Nicole, I'm curious to know. Started for me at 9 years old. When did you fall in love with music? And was it singing? Because I heard it was an instrument as well.
Yes, so for me, it was the family parties. It was my uncles playing hand percussion, like and drums, and them dancing, also Motown, like doing their turns and their dips and singing the song together. It was that togetherness aspect of it, and then I got to jump in on percussion like our family did, and for me that built a love for it. What built a love for performance, I went to a concert when I was in junior high. I went to a
Mm.
physical concert, and that kind of ties into what I do, which is I saw a group on stage. I think it was maybe a classical slash jazz kind of performance, and we were in a nice theater and seats, and I just love that. I love seeing that performance on stage. And when I came home on the bus, I told my teacher, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be on stage. And I was a very quiet person, like to the point where people thought, some substitute teachers thought I didn't speak and stuff. So for me to say I would want that, I mean, it was a real sparkle there for me. And yeah, so that's, I had also a lot of great music teachers that pushed me. Yeah.
Nicole, I was a quiet person too. I was the introvert.
Mhm.
Radio helped me come out. Singing, I thought singing would help me come out, but radio helped me come out even more. But I was too the quiet person in the corner, the guy who sat in the back of the room, didn't really raise his hand a lot. So I understand. I can relate to what you're talking about totally.
Yeah, for me, it was a way for me to tell my story. And as I grew up and I look back, that is really, I think that really is what drives me, storytelling and having a way to share with others your heart, your story, and connect with people in that way. And the fact that this is the storytelling tools are very valuable to us as communities, as societies. They help us to keep our identity. They help us to learn about each other. And, I teach now 8 years in New York City public schools as well. So that's everything kind of ties in there.
May I ask you what attracted you to playing the flute?
Yes. So for me, this is, at first I wanted to play my babysitter, the girl who walked me home. I wanted to play the clarinet. I didn't know what it was called, so I wrote flute down. I couldn't play the thing for a whole year. This is a whole thing. This is God at work, I have to tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then I just had some great teachers. I stayed with it. I learned, oh, I can have a voice here without speaking to people. That's great for me. And then later, the flute became for me, I truly believe, an healing instrument for me because of the breath work that you do to put air through that instrument, and for the fact that the flute, flute and drums is two of the oldest instruments in the
Hmm.
world. And just for me, it ended up connecting me, I felt, to something deeper, something ancestral. And for me, it ended up being something that calmed me, helped me contemplate the world, helped me, survive. For me, it's a lifeline. I don't perform actively now so much, maybe a church every now and then and things like that. But for me, when I pick it up, it helps me to, get back to my happy place.
Nicole, I think you're being a little modest. I think it's just like riding a bike. Even though you may not play as often, I think if a flute was presented to you,
Yeah.
you're passionate about it. And when you're passionate about something, you excel above and beyond. Yes?
Thank you. Yes.
So do you find it's Can people fall in love with the instrument? Aside, but most kids like to bang on things and find things and are very explorative in their early ages. But how have you noticed, as being an educator, have you noticed adults, young adults or grown adults, because everyone could go to a university at any age, do you
Wow.
find them falling in love with certain things at a later stage in their life as well?
Yeah, I've heard many stories of it. Even I have a friend who didn't play until college. She entered college with guitar. She plays now timpani for a major orchestra. She's a percussionist. And so it is possible, and instruments do call you in that way.
I thought so. I thought so. But I'm excited to know, what are you looking forward to working with, Shop Bob Cares?
Okay, so to Music Unboxed, I use every aspect of my experience as a teacher, as a performer, as an educator, and also as like both of you, someone passionate about community and bring community together. And I curate community music experiences. I collaborate. I love working with Janelle. I collaborate to that energy with collaboration. I think it's some, I guess for some people sometimes you can feel it's heavy, but in this instance it's just such a flow. There's such a focus on just a love of people, a love of joy, a love of like Janelle said, having giving a way for someone's voice to come out in a new way. And so what I look forward to working on with Shop Bob is just experiences that bring, well, in this case on video, we have professional artists, a professional group, Garavika, working with musicians, local musicians from my hometown, which is Uniondale, New York. And so this is kind of the avenue we went in this program and this collaboration with Shop Bob, whereas I was like, let's focus on Staten Island. Let's zero in and let's make a home for some music making with the people already there who already have a heart for music making, and kids always have a heart for music making. And then we had our professional teaching artist Andre, who has always had that heart in him too. So right there in Staten Island, we just had to put them together. So that's like the curation part, where it's like you're not giving all these things and magic and like that, but it's actually already there. You're just connecting.
Before I let you go, Nicole, there's one last thing I'd like to ask you to do. There's a lot of folks watching us tonight, and I would like for you to speak to the parents. And they may see something in a child
Mhm,
or in their teenager that is music oriented. What
mhm.
would you advise them to do? How would you direct them?
Okay. I would direct when I teach, I try to direct as much as I try to be hands off. Because what it is you have to let the person's soul find what that soul needs. And you may say, let me put them in this piano lesson in front of this piano teacher, and it might not vibe well, but it doesn't mean that they don't love music. It could be maybe you get an instrument for home and say, here, try this YouTube video out. Or maybe and this class oriented work, like, this is really important for kids to have other kids to talk to about music, and that they have community with other kids to love music with. And I would say listen as much as you direct. you know they know
Strong advice.
yeah, they know more, and they have more taste, and they have more aesthetic than you might think. You might not see it, but it's always there.
Couldn't said it better. She is the educator. She is the flautist herself, Nicole Camacho Albert. I look forward in going to and seeing your performance, and much continued success. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm telling you,
That's what I'm talking
Lenny,
about.
it made sense for us to come together to really create a collaborative effort to bring music into communities where they're stripping it out of schools. They're stripping it out of education. And it is so important because at these young ages, like 9, 10, these are the ages where they're really starting to develop on a whole new level. And it's so important. And so when we first started talking, literally, it was like both of us was getting goosies. We were like, oh my goodness, this is it. And so
Right.
with her, she's obviously the educator. She has the degrees, she has the talent, she has the know-how. She plays multiple instruments and she's absolutely incredible. She also has a little nugget. Oh my gosh, a beautiful baby boy who is also musically inclined, already strumming. Just already so well adapt. So that's how important having music, having creative arts in the home can be, even for the family to connect. And so when me and her, we started talking about the program, I was like, okay, so you think of what we can do as an introduction, and I will go ahead and my homework was, okay, let me find the other spaces that I could, or all the other businesses and organizations that I could put together to now make
Mm.
this vision happen. And even like, I'm going to go back to your family day, which is so funny because now I'm seeing how we both mirror this whole idea where even in your space you connect to local businesses, local organizations to come together to allow this event to
Hmm.
happen. And I am doing the same thing on a micro level for this program. So after me and Nicole, we spoke, I said, okay, now I need a space, I need kids, and I need an incredible instructor. So, yeah, we need kids that actually want to learn how to play.
Right.
Get off your phone, get off the gaming system, even though I'm a gamer, get off the gaming system and actually learn and connect in a whole new way inside from the inward out. And so I was very blessed to find a community center out here in Staten Island in Stapleton, the Gerard Carter Center, also known as the JCC out here. And they have a beautiful, oh my gosh, a beautiful facility here in Staten Island. And so they have children that after school, they have latchkey kids that come and they use this space and they opened up their doors for us to come in. As soon as I came in, I said, we want to help the kids. We want to bring music. They said, yes, yes. And then it was like, and don't forget to sign the paperwork. Oh, yeah,
Right. Right.
no
Right.
problem. So we were so blessed to partner with them who loved the idea, loved the pitch that we wanted to do for the kids. And then now I was like, oh my goodness, now I need to find the right instructor. So Nicole, as she said, she is a teacher. She teaches a ton of children in the tri-state area, towards the north. And so getting to Staten Island is not the easiest at this moment. So we were like, how can we start the program, launch the program, and then build from here? And so I said, okay, I need to find someone local to Staten Island. I need to find someone who is passionate about music. I need to find someone who is passionate about Black youth. Yes, I'm going to say it. I need to find someone who's passionate about Black youth and not afraid to um, spend their time, give their talent, give their gifts, and do it with love and compassion for children who are not used to music. They're used to beats, they're used to rap, they're used to hip hop, but the basis of music, rudiments, and learning the basics, finding somebody, and then it hit me. Duh, I knew the perfect person. And before I even bring in this person off as our next guest, I have to show you a clip of what this
Yeah.
extraordinary talent can do. So I'm going to talk about this person real quick because this instructor holds a really dear soft spot in my heart. I absolutely love him for so many reasons. Yes, I'm biased, but this man has shown me since the very moment that I met him that he's a man of integrity, that he is a man of passion, compassion, that he is an instructor, an educator. He also allows himself to really glean and take in his surroundings. Um, he is a blind man, so he is had that. He could have used that. He could have used that as his label of why he couldn't excel. However, he used it as a stepping stool. Oh, I'm going to start to preach now. He used it as a stepping stool to now use it as a way to say, because I did, you can too. Mm. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want to start off with this because I could literally go into a whole sermon right now. But I want to show you, because it's better to show you how incredibly talented this person is, and why
Yeah.
it makes no sense why I did not, that he wasn't the first person that came to my mind when it came to this program. So Lenny, I want to show you a quick clip of a performance. Now, this is a freestyle. Let me preface this. This is a freestyle performance. This is not practiced nor rehearsed. This is this gentleman having two sticks, walking to the drums and thinking nobody is watching. Now, let's go to the
Mm.
clip.
Okay.
Baby, okay. Do you
I can
see
tell you
what
one
I'm
thing.
talking about?
I
Good.
can tell you one thing. When I was
What?
playing, well, trying to play drums, they wasn't in rhythmic pattern like that. I can promise you that.
Do you
Gifted.
see what I am talking about? Now, this man, okay,
Gifted.
starting at 9 years old. Up, here goes that number nine again. There goes that number nine. This is such an impressionable age. Starting at 9 years old, taking that passion to drumming, playing in the marching band in high school, actually getting a scholarship to a HBCU, Alabama A&M. Come on. All right,
Wow.
roll tide. Come on now. Full scholarship with that. I mean, he has toured with famous celebrities, and he has multiple degrees like this man. And that's why I am just in awe about having an instructor like this, because this is what our kids need to see. They need to see that it doesn't even matter what those initial labels or any type of disability or anything, because they are not disabling you to become your best. And that is why we have such a great instructor. So it made sense to have this great man instruct our kids. So Lenny, if I may just introduce to you this
Come
man
on.
right here, our instructor, Mr. Andre Hutton.
Oh, hello, Mr. Lenny Green. How are you, sir?
Sir, no, sir, no. Please don't call me sir, sir. You deserve all the props. Like I was telling Janelle just a moment ago, I made an attempt when I was younger to play drums. My mom, anything I set my eyes on, my mom supported me on. She bought me a drum set. but it did not come out like that. Your rhythmic patterns obviously has proven to be extremely the lane that you were supposed to be in. So kudos to you, sir. I'm just proud to speak with you. And I need to know, when did you get attracted to the drums?
Mm, at 9th grade, Greymount Elementary
And
School.
not elementary. See, and that's what Janelle was just talking a little earlier. You know, a lot of the music programs are being taken out of schools because by the time I got to high school, we didn't even have music in elementary school because I went to a Catholic school and a few Catholic schools in Brooklyn. We didn't have music like that. It wasn't until I got to high school, but by the time I got to high school, man, they took the music program out. So you were very fortunate in elementary school.
Yeah, it was. I started at Greymount Elementary School, Birmingham, Alabama. Mr. Daniels was my band director, and he had a green mustache, and and he taught me, but I wanted to play drums. And so when my sister carried me, she was a student. She's 77 years old. As of the other day, she would Magic City Classic, which is Alabama State, Alabama A&M. And in the fourth grade, a band was on the field, and I had a popcorn box, and I was beating it till it tore apart, listening to the band. And I was influenced, and I told my sister in the fourth grade, I'm gonna be in that band right there. Remembered that when I crossed the little threshold to get my uniform. Yeah.
And
So that was the start. And when I walked on, I was afraid. But just at my audition, they asked who was that, and I was a visually impaired kid, but I was able to see well enough to do what I needed to do. And just through my warm up, they gave me a scholarship and put me on the line.
brother, you know, we all have a lot of excuses sometimes. Yes, you had a handicap, but again, as Janelle just spoke about it in a roundabout way, that handicap didn't stop your drive, your passion again for what you loved and what you already spoke into existence.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, when I have a mother, she lost her sight at 13.
All right. So while we get that fixed in, yeah, just might have to do a reset on that. I think somebody called and knock that audio off. But as I was just saying, that as we get that set up, Andre is just absolutely incredible with the
Beyond,
kids.
beyond.
Because even in the whole setup where we were putting together the program, and I was really coming down to the wire, and I just felt like this was the time to launch. This was the time to go. Sometimes we wait for perfection. We wait for that moment where all the ducks align, and sometimes we have to go when it's ugly. We have to go when we don't even know the next steps, and just put it in God's hands and say, God, it is your will, your way, and it's going to be done. And somehow it came together so beautifully when I approached him about the opportunity to when I approached him about the opportunity to do this. It was just like, it wasn't even a question nor thought. It was yes. What time? Where do I need to be? What time do I need to be there? And what instruments do I need to bring? And we went to the
Yep.
music store. It's funny because you actually called me while we were in that music store.
Wow.
That was funny. We was on the phone, and actually, it was that moment that we spoke about this presentation, and you said yes. Come on, you now won't he do it? Okay, so
All the time. All the time. All the time.
it was really well divine to have him say yes, and it was just organically put together, and the kids from day one, they just connected to him, and they were so excited. If we could get see if um Roxy, if Andre could get back in. Are we good?
Are you with us, Andre? Can you hear me? Andre? I don't think he can hear me. Andre, can you hear me now?
No, you might have to log out and log back in.
But as we wait for that to happen, Janelle, it's
Yes.
important that we it's important that we also again encourage parents to pay attention to your kids, see
Yeah.
what they're most passionate about, what they're attracted to,
Hmm.
what they are drawn to.
Right.
And I know, I know every parent wants, their children to have a secure
Hmm.
life as they move on to grow.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
mama probably did too. But what I feel is when you're drawn to something, when you're passionately drawn to something, there's no deterioration. There's no change in the path. Yes, prepare them just in case it doesn't happen. Because as
Hmm.
many kids that love sports,
Right.
as much as we would want to support them, only a select few are chosen. But encourage them to have a backup plan, but still pursue what's most passionate about them. And
Yes.
I know everyone who is watching us on Staten Island and all over the country. Again, I just want to just pour that into the
Hmm.
parents' minds because sometimes parents, understandably so, parents,
Hmm.
may divert them to go in a different direction where your son or daughter may be interested in a different direction. So I say, hey, look, you can light more than one pot on the stove at the same time. I mean, Janelle, you're a cook, so you understand you got to multitask and do a
Right.
lot of stuff in order for things to
Absolutely.
happen. Now, and
Hmm.
having a career
Hmm.
is challenging, but
Yes.
it does have great rewards. I
Hmm.
think, and I will hold this true to my heart, that if you're most passionate about something, it will definitely happen. Will it happen in the time you want it to?
Hmm.
Maybe not. But that
Right.
doesn't mean that you give up. That means you
Yes.
keep pushing, you keep praying,
Yes.
and you keep
Hmm.
enhancing your skills. Because you know what they
Hmm.
say,
Hmm.
always stay ready so that when you have to get ready.
Right. Right. And it's interesting because Nicole and I, when we were first talking about her underlying mission for Music Unboxed, yes, it is to cultivate creative voices through music. However, she also has a passion for kids to experience music on a grand scale. So what she does is that she connects with musicians that actually make a living from music. They travel the world, they play at Lincoln Center, they are well known for their music, and that is their main point of payment for their income. And she connects them so that way the child could see it is an option. Will it come in as I'm going to be Taylor Swift or I'm going to be Beyonce? No, but there are other opportunities where music can actually become a career. The scoring music, for soundtracks, for movie soundtracks, putting together, even just sound for programs, and like there are so many other opportunities in music. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, also
Mm-hmm.
session work. A lot of people forget session work.
Mm.
Session work. I mean, and granted, a lot of technology has enhanced, especially, and I'm sure Andre can speak on this when we
Mm-hmm.
get him back in. On
Right.
drums have become electronic drums, but it's nothing like the original acoustic drum itself. And they're very much in demand. You'll find a lot of musicians, a lot of singers these days they may not do the entire session with a full band in studio, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll bring people in and they'll
Mm-hmm.
have live instruments. And like Anita Baker just recently done an album not too long ago where she
Mm-hmm.
brought live musicians in. Eric Benet has did the same thing, brought live musicians in
Right.
at that moment. So session work, studio work is really
Yes.
another way of not traveling the world, still maintaining
Mm-hmm.
a concrete job and at the same
Mm-hmm.
time doing what you love. So it's all about just pursuing what you really want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can't do it in the way you want to do it, are
Uh-huh.
there alternative routes to still do what you love and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time do what you have to do?
Do what you have to do. Andre Hunt, I believe, is back in the building, and we want to get more because I really want to talk with him more about his journey. So we could go ahead and let him into the room because this is so important for us to connect on this level. Hey,
Hey, can you
Andre,
hear me?
absolutely.
got you,
Good.
got
All
you.
right.
I
Yeah.
know we got a little lost in the sauce, man, but it always comes back around to fully cook a meal. So I'm glad everything worked out the way that they did. Andre, why don't you speak on nothing too deep, but speak on the fact of as I was telling, we have a lot of parents watching, as well as a lot of artists that are watching, up and coming, desirable musicians, as well as singers. Um, if they don't find or get, I should say, what they ultimately want to get, or get to the level they want to get to, what is the key in trying to find other outlets, other means in doing what you still love, but at the same time pushing and moving forward?
So there are so many avenues to when you think in terms of not in music education, then you could get a degree in performance, and so uh, and then you could get a degree in engineering. With engineering, that I have an offer right now from one of my guitar friends that I don't even, and I heard your comments at the end. I don't have to even go to a studio. That I got equipment that I can set up with electronic drums, which there have been times on live performance I've used electronic rack toms and an acoustic
Wow,
bass and snare. So I could go through the system electronically, but yet when the music dropped, you can't turn those controls down, but you could just go to the acoustic drums with the snare and bass and yet stay in sync with the music, whatever level. But then now I can sit upstairs. I got an acoustic drum set upstairs. It's a Pearl Studio. So I could now get some equipment and play drum licks with anybody's music all over the world.
that is
So
great.
there are alternatives that we have to reach those goals.
But do you recommend? Well, obviously, with students starting out, well, the kids today, man, they're into the technology advancement. But how important is it if you took technology away from true musicianship? Some
Uh,
some are going to fall in the hole.
well, yeah, one of the things I remember in the class, but these were secondary ed students, um, they were impressed when the instructor knew what they were doing. And a lot of the kids in class, they used to like to challenge me, and I would love that because I knew things they didn't know. So, and some of them were pretty good and would scare me. But if I didn't go in the box, the academic box, and pull out rudimental stuff that I know they couldn't play, because you have to spend hours to learn 5, 7, 9, Radham Q, triple Radham Q, paradiddle, double paradiddle, to learn all that and how to mix it up and coordinate it. They couldn't do that, and so they was always impressed with that, and it always motivated them to try to catch me, which it's going to take a, and it kept their interest in music, and it motivated them. So I would say to anyone who want to encourage young people, just be that example and let them see greatness as much as possible. That's what Dr. Bradford tried to instill in us as the chairman of the music department at Alabama A&M. That when people see excellence, they always want to imitate it. I think a lot of
Oh,
they don't see a lot of excellence, so they're not motivated to to thrive for anything.
are you self-taught as a drummer?
I mean, self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started out that way. I started out that way. There's again, I thank God for the public school system. That they always down south had band programs, and it was a big thing. And all of the students, say for instance at Phillips High School, where Mr. McAfee was the band director. He graduated from Tennessee State University. Parker High
Mm.
School, where I started out, Mr. Williams, he graduated from Alabama State University. So whatever Mr. Reed, one of my other high school directors, he graduated from Alabama A&M University. So all of
Wow.
these people influenced the students to attend those colleges. So most of us went to college patterned after our band directors.
Once you fell deep into drumming and you knew this was your passion, ultimate passion, and you were going to pursue this, I'm kind of curious at that time, name some of the drummers that you were paying attention to or you learned about.
Oh man, to my one of my primary influences was Buddy Rich, and today Dennis Chambers,
Wow.
and that's why I always play on Pearl drums and use Zildjian sticks because I was influenced heavily by Dennis Chambers.
At the time when you were in school, did you find a lot of girls interested in drums just as much as boys were?
Not a lot. I think at Parker High School we had a girl in the session named Vanessa. When I went to the other high school, which is Glenn High School, we had a young girl. She was tough too, man. Her name was Sweet Pea. We call her
Sweet
Sweet.
Pea, that was her nickname?
Yeah, that was affectionately known as Sweet Pea. Yeah, I think her real name was Angelina Dew, but affectionately known as Sweet Pea. And in college, we had a girl. She couldn't stay on the left and play the cadence at the same time, but she was so pretty, we let her stay in the section.
Nah. You see, ladies, you get over. But hey, there's so many. I saw this young lady. I don't. She's all over Instagram. She was so passionate about drumming, so much that Lenny Kravitz gifted her full professional set of drums, and I'm proud that she's on her way. I think she's probably like only 13 years old now. But you can fall in love with something that you're most passionate about at any age. Am I wrong?
No, you right. So I did. I fell in love with drums at a very early age, and I had a paper route in the 8th grade, and I bought my first drum set. It was a Slingerland drum set,
Wow.
and discount because it sat in the window at the store, and it kind of faded from red to orange, and they sold it to me for $700, and that was my first purchase.
That was high school.
Yeah, and when it was in the 8th, because I threw papers, and I was able to,
You
my
must have
mom.
threw a lot. Hey, you must do a lot of papers, man. $700 is a lot for a high school student to get, but obviously you were determined.
Well, yeah, and they had two paper routes, and then I did some other things, and then in the 10th grade, I was being snuck into the club by a man who played guitar, guitar and band show and review, and I was playing drums with them, and I would make $75 a gig on Saturday. And then also I was influenced by jazz musicians in the public school system. So you had professional jazz musicians that would come by and spend 2 weeks with the kids. And that group it was a local professional group called Foxy Fats and Company. I don't know if you heard of him, out of Birmingham, because you featured in Tuscaloosa. I used to be down at something kind of high school in New
Wow.
York.
Shout out to
So
everybody. Wow. Now I'm wondering, Andre, did you really ultimately have another game plan? Because I know you heard Jeffrey Osborne was a drummer,
oh
became
yeah,
lead vocalist. Teddy
yeah.
Pendergrass was a drummer, became lead singer. So did you have a passion to become the singer eventually, or you loved and stayed in the drumming world?
Total passion for the drums. But sometimes when I played with people, I did do vocal tracks in studios for people. I had to do background tracks as well. And then a lot of times I played background for people. I mean, played drums for people with singing background in a microphone. But I never wanted to go up front and sing.
Well, there's a lot of drummers right now. Pieces of a Dream. The brother who plays with Pieces of a Dream, Brother Harmon, he does a little bit of both. He sings, but he plays, and he's actually the spokesperson more in the group as well. So drummers have become so folk. So they say give the drummer some. They weren't even James Brown back in the day. Give the drummer some, and we gave it to you. I can't wait to see you perform, man. Are you performing still, or are you just teaching?
Now I'm old. So
You're
I'm
not old.
an old dude that's just enjoying my wife at an old age, and we just go and do our thing. The last professional person I was interviewed by was Clarence Carter. I didn't get the job because his wife didn't want him on the road, but I guess he found out how much money he was going to be making, and he didn't go, so I didn't get that gig. The most
Yeah.
memorable at the music is when I played the International Promoters Convention in Brussels, Belgium, and I also had the opportunity to play with Coco Taylor in Brussels, Belgium. So that was on stage, really clowning and with a cowboy hat on and having a good time, man.
But
So
hold on. But hold on, though, brother Andre. You played with the legendary Clark sisters.
I played some gigs with the Clock Sisters. Yeah, I filled in with them. That was years ago. I think no one would remember me probably but Twinkie. Uh, but yeah, I've done. But that was just fill-ins. I wasn't a regular. I was a regular with the Blind Boys of Alabama, and I filled in with people like Coco Taylor. I played with the Manhattans, different things like that. And it's people when they drummer like get high and couldn't play their purse. I
Right.
would be a drummer, and so I would get my purse and their purse, which was a highlight. It was a good thing. So those are some of my experiences that I've had. It's been great. So I don't. I did fill in for this program because, like Janelle, I love her as well, and anything she try to do.
Well, brother, we love you, man, and we thank you, man, for your contributions. And even though you want to label yourself as old, I don't think you're 90 years old yet. And my mama was 90, and she didn't consider herself old at 90. So I say you're still a young man, and who knows what tomorrow brings? Because you have definitely knocked down doors and proven people otherwise of what they may assume you can't do. You did.
Now, and I tell anybody, no matter what life bring in those curves, those are uncertain times, but you always gain the strength in your curves to move further in life, above and beyond all life challenges. So that's what I believe.
Mhm.
Sir, I salute you, sir, and I thank you for your time and for your wisdom.
God bless you. Good to meet you. It's been a pleasure.
Mhm.
My honor, my honor. Thank you, sir. Janelle, that he's a superstar, Janelle. He's a
I'm
superstar.
telling you, absolutely. I am so excited to really put this program together. And like I said, when I approached him about doing this, it was just a yes. It was everybody was just like yes, and it had to come together. And so as I went to the Gerard Carter Center and I was speaking with the program director there, Mr. Perry, and he was letting us know the time and the space that we could use. I told Andre's like, yes, let's go. I got you. And literally within days, we put it together. Now, this is, like I said, this was just the launch of the program. What we have in mind is so much bigger, to bring this out throughout the tri-state. We're starting in Staten Island and then we're building. So this is pretty much like the foundation of what we are doing with our music program, and we're building from there. So for this program, we were only with the kids for 4 weeks. That's it. 4 weeks, 1 hour each week. And even within those hours, it wasn't even a full hour. And when I tell you, by week 3, the kids were sliding in, talking about it's music time. And that alone was just that alone, it showed us that there was a need for it. And you didn't even know, the kids didn't even know that they were going to connect to drumming. They were going to connect to music as much as they did. And then now, even by week 4, they want to play different instruments. They were on instruments day 1. I'm telling you, Andre is an incredible instructor. It is his God-given skill to educate. And so his ability on day 1, where they were using instruments, day 2, week 2, they memorized what they did week 1 and was giving it back to us. Like, oh, I know the single stroke roll. I know the double stroke roll. And they were doing it. And that was the whole purpose when me and Nicole first talked, was about leaving that impression for the kids, because they are going to remember. Well, I
Yeah.
remember when I was a kid and I played drums. I remember when I was a kid and we did this. And that's what it's all about, is creating those memories that is going to last with us as years go on, so that way we can look back and say, I remember when.
And also challenge us. Also
Yeah,
challenge us,
yeah.
because as Brother Andre was saying, a lot
Mhm,
of students wanted to challenge him, and
mhm,
that it revitalizes him in many
mhm,
ways as well, because now he has to prove to these kids, hey, look, I got the skills you're trying to get.
mhm,
And then at the same time, it allows the kids to see the growth where they have to get to
mhm,
in looking at him. So,
mhm,
it's a twofold situation. And
mhm.
I think that's wonderful in itself.
Yes, and the ability to say I can in spite of. In spite of what you say, I can. In spite of what you think, I can. In spite of what I think, I can. Come on. And that is what the music really does, is allow people, it builds us up. That's why music is so important. That's why what we listen to, what we put into our ears daily, is really what's edifying our body. Is really what's allowing us to move and to grow and to be free. A song can completely put you in depression, or it can completely encourage you and rise an entire nation. One song can do that. That is incredible that music has that kind of effect.
You know, who better than me to know this? Because as I always say every now in the quiet storm,
Mhm.
music is the soundtrack of
Okay.
our lives.
Yeah.
There's a song
Hmm.
somewhere along the line that will connect you to an experience or to a
Hmm.
moment in your life
Yeah.
that you will always hold on to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Hey, look, I have a challenge though.
okay.
I have a challenge for you.
Oh,
For
okay.
yeah, for Bob Cares, Shop
Okay.
Bob Cares. For the next in 2024, God willing, the
Okay.
August of 2024,
Okay.
I will have another Family Day event in Brooklyn. How about Shop Bob Cares brings this music, the
Okay.
Y.P.O.P Music Unboxed,
Okay.
to Family Day in Brooklyn? If we
Okay.
need to do it, we're bringing it to we're bringing it to Staten Island. But why don't we expose everybody to what Staten Island is doing?
Lenny, and this is why I know that this is divinely ordered, because when I had the conversation with Nicole, and Nicole can back me up, she asked me for my vision, because I always ask what um, a collaborator their vision for it. And she said, well, what's your vision? I said, honestly, I can see the kids playing at Family Day. I literally said
No,
that.
no, you did
And
not. You did
I
not.
did, I did. Actually, Andre's wife could also attest to that, because I said it to her too. I'm telling you, I said I would love that, to them that be right on that stage and just play. It doesn't something on top of a contemporary song, just to see the application. They don't have to be a brand new song, but of course Nicole is like, I can I can compose a perfect piece, and she's thinking of an artist already who can come in and play with the kids, because that's how Nicole thinks. She's just like me.
Wow.
I don't know if you've noticed we're related. So we we have the same kind of tenacity to build and to grow. So the fact that you said that, oh man, challenge accepted.
Okay. I know you don't back away from a challenge. Okay. Deal, done deal. Done deal.
All right,
Now this is
okay.
wonderful. And thank you.
Now you have to see what it is that we're doing. Okay, good. So like I said, this is the launch of the program that we are building on Staten Island, that we're going to continue to do on Staten Island, but that we want to now build out into the tri-state area. For this particular program, we had 4 weeks with these kids, and they are extraordinary, exuberant bunch. So Lenny Green, without further ado, I would like to present to you Y.P.O.P Music Unboxed.
Let's do it.
My name is Brian and I play the clays.
My name is Samuel and I play the cowbell.
My name is Cameron and I love to sing and I play the bucket. My name is Malachi and I'm playing the wood block. And I'm also gonna play the bucket. My name is Amaya.
Yay! Look, 4 weeks. 4 weeks we were able to do that. And so the whole idea is to build this program out into a longer program. The whole idea is to now incorporate more instruments. And it's so funny because the kids, every time they come in, they're asking, can we learn different instruments? Can we learn acoustics? Can we learn? And I'm
I like
like,
that.
this is the kind of energy that we
Yeah.
want. This is just the beginning. This is
Yeah.
just the beginning. So I'm
And this is
so,
what
so excited.
this needs to be echoed into all of these schools administrations,
Mhm.
to make sure they have programs. You know, you want to change the environment, you want to change the communities, you want to
Yeah,
change the mindsets of children.
yeah.
Create something so they can become captivated by and get interested in. So it goes beyond the surface of us starting it. It goes to these
Yeah.
school officials. You know,
Mhm.
everybody has a lot of positions, but who's going to make this happen? That's the
Mhm.
bottom line. That's what I want to know. In
Yes.
Staten Island, let's start in Staten Island first, but there's
Yes.
some other boroughs, and I know we have other leaders and people who
Mhm.
work within the infrastructure and these, city councils, and let's get it done. Let's not talk about it, but let's be about it and help these kids because the kids are our future.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, and it was something that you said even earlier today about being an introvert. I don't believe that.
I
However,
don't think she believes me.
however, a lot of the kids that were coming into the program, especially like Amaya, super, super afraid to do it. And then she's going ahead and she's better than the boys with keeping a tempo. I mean, even Brian, he was super nervous about doing something on camera. But this, and that's why it's so important because it is challenging. And that's what you said, that music challenges us. And that's what it did for these kids. It allowed them to try something they've never done before. And in their head, they were like, oh my gosh, I can do it. And then they stretched themselves even further to do incredible work. And that's why it is so important. But I would be remiss to not shout out everyone who even made this possible. So I want to thank the Staten Island Arts Grants Foundation because they were able to provide us with the funding for instruments, for the space, for the instructors, for all of this to take place. I want to thank again the Gerard Carter Center, JCC, for giving us the space and those beautiful kids. I want to thank obviously our instructor, Andre Hutton. I want to thank Lady Hutton, who also facilitated as an instructor in the rooms. I want to thank, of course, Nicole Camacho Albert. Of course, I got to thank Shanette Gant, Roxy, even for putting this together. It just means so much. Of course, Mr. Perry and all of the board members and advisory board members at the JCC who allowed us to do this. But this is why this is so important that we keep doing it and we encourage the kids to keep moving forward, to keep doing more. Because look, this is only the beginning. Imagine week 6. Imagine week 10. Imagine week 10. We're changing lives. Changing lives.
And that's what it's all about. And I want to thank you, Miss Janelle Simone, for
Thank you.
extending the invitation for me to be a part of
Thank
this
you.
and host this Y.P.O.P Music Unboxed. I see
Amen.
a great future ahead for it, as
Thank
well as
you.
more continued things for Shop Bob Cares to get
Mhm.
involved in. But the future is the children, and I'm glad that you're starting there because we can't go wrong. They're going to be the
Absolutely.
most dedicated. They're going to be the most dedicated. You'll see.
Absolutely. And I also want to thank all of our supporters because of their donations that we're able to sit there and really make this happen. And so for anyone out there who is watching, you too can support. We have our high five. Fund drive. And so what we're doing, we are making a challenge to anyone just to donate $5. $5, less than a cup of coffee, especially if you're going to Starbucks. But your $5 goes to support programs like this. This allows us to keep programs like this going on, keep encouraging our kids, keeping them engaged, keeping them active, even outside of our music program, where you could see the kids here learning basic rudiments, learning basic uh, rhythms and really enjoying themselves. As you can see Lady Hutton in the back right there, I see you. But this is what it's going towards. But not only does it go towards our music program, but Shop Bob Cares, we also support youth employment. So we actually hire uh, Black youth ages 14 and up to help facilitate these programs with us. They are team leaders for our music programs. They're team leaders for our gaming events. And so we do that. And so that's what we're doing. Everything that we receive goes back into the community to help build youth development. And that's why I'm so excited that we have our youth positivity outreach program, because under this umbrella, we are really touching across so many different departments that really engages our youth. It really
Yeah.
is getting them excited about whatever their next step is. And I'm going to tell you something, and I always say this, and I have to say it because it's one of the best stories in my heart, is that I always open up my group sessions with my kids and I ask them, what do they want to be when they grow up? And a lot of times, a lot of the kids say, I don't know. And that's because they're not given that luxury to just dream, that they don't know how to dream. They're not given that push to be something just extraordinary. And so usually during our employment programs, by the end, now they're saying, I know. So one time I had a young lady, she said she didn't know what she wanted to be, but then at the end of our employment program, she comes back to me and she asked me to ask her the question again. And I said, what question? She's like, ask me what I want to be again. And so I asked her what she wanted to be, and she gave me an answer. And she, oh, I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah.
Wait, because
Don't get
that alone,
emotional.
it's it's
I understand
it's
now.
it's incredible because you don't
No, it is.
know, and it doesn't
And
deplete us to give to kids. It doesn't deplete us to give love away. And as you can see, our kids need it. Our kids need it. Our kids need it so much. So
yeah,
any
no, I
support
agree.
we're doing.
And you know what? Let me just piggyback on that. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
it's okay if there's anyone who has a dream, and you're looking at one of the biggest dreamers, and by God's grace, I'm living my dream.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes you are discouraged, and sometimes you may be afraid to come out and
Yeah,
speak on certain things. But
yeah.
it's okay if you start with one dream, and in 2 years or in a year or 6 months, you change your dream. Dream, dream, and continue to dream because you have a focus of where you want to grow to and go to. But let me just turn it back just a little bit more before
Yeah.
we close out for the night.
Sure.
And it's important that we remember it does take the village.
Yeah.
It can start with one person, it can start with two people and five people, but it takes really a community to kind of bring everything to fruition, to
Mhm.
bring our kids to a different level, whether they're related to you or not, and to just support and see the future in making things happen. I know I will be making my contribution to make this happen as well, and I hope that you guys will make a contribution as well. And I know it's hard, um, but I've learned that when we think it's hard in our lane and we have so many problems, there's
Mhm.
somebody else that
Mhm.
is in a far more difficult situation that we don't even understand until we see it. So
Mhm.
I'm just here to say to you, not to get on, not to know what's in your pocket or what you're up against, but if you can, make a small donation to keep this program going on and to keep these kids encouraged. I hope
Yes.
that you'll be able to do so.
I appreciate that. And even for those who do not have the finances, because I get it. Sometimes we take for granted when we put our hand in our pocket and we have something that jingles that comes out and we get excited. Oh, I had an extra dollar. And there's a lot that don't. But there's so much we can even do without finances. So even if someone is interested on how to help and collaborate, how to volunteer, how to build and work with me to help this program grows, please come and talk to me. Go to shopbob.com/cares and hit me up. I'm looking for businesses to partner, sell on our fundraising platform, and donation goes directly to our programs. And I am just all about collaborative spaces. I truly believe in this Congolese proverb, a single bracelet does not jingle. And it takes a lot of us to make some noise. And it's all about us coming together. So that's why it means so much to me, Lenny, when you offer your time to me, when you offer your talent and your platform for me to showcase what it is that I am doing in the community, because sometimes we don't feel seen even on my level. So by you even extending yourself to allow us to showcase what it is that we are doing, it means so much to me because I know I'm doing something right. I love you, Lenny. I do. I do.
I can't do the hard thing, but yeah, I love you too. And you know, you got me anytime you need me. Anything I could do, I'm more than willing to help.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Teach
you.
me how to do that heart thing. I can't do that heart. We'll work on it.
I got you. I got you. But yes, another incredible collaboration with you, Lenny, and in launching this program again. I'm telling you, you are completely weaved through our history here at Shop Bob.
I
And
knew there was
I'll
a
thank you.
purpose for me in life. There was a purpose. Thank you. As long as I'm serving my purpose, I'm good. I'm happy.
And it means so much to me that we get to share this with you, Lenny. You are an incredible, incredible talent. And I know I constantly give you your flowers, and I
But
think
so
you
are you.
deserve it
But
more.
so are you, Janelle. I can't. You can't. Don't give me flowers without me giving you back flowers, because you are a wonderful goddess,
Thank you,
and we
Lenny.
thank you for not only giving
Thank
us your
you.
time,
Thank
but
you.
giving us your wisdom and your knowledge and your direction. So
Thank
all
you.
props back to you, man. All
Thank
props.
you. And we shall see you at Family Day.
You got the challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Staten Island, get ready. Come on. Let's do this together.
We'll do it. Thank you again, Lenny. Thank you
Thank
again,
you.
everyone.
Thanks for watching, y'all.